Then do that. And just take a few moments just to get yourself comfortable. Maybe try and relax your arms down as well. Sometimes if we have our hands too high up, then it kind of brings tension into the shoulders. So you can even rest your arms and let the hands dangle. And maybe just start to lower your chin. You can lower your gaze or close your eyes. So try and lengthen through your spine a little bit. And just take a few moments just to come away from your morning and just begin to draw your attention inwards. And just start to notice your breath, so just moving in and out through your nose. And just allow the breath just to smooth out naturally. As your breath begins to settle, just notice how your body feels this morning. So maybe noticing any areas of tension or where you're holding on, and try and allow that to relax a little bit. Try and soften through the shoulders, through your legs and your hips, and even your jaw. As your body starts to soften a little bit, just take a moment to notice how you feel. Simply letting your thoughts just come and go. So in this week's class, we're on to the fifth of our chakras, so moving gradually up the body. So we're moving towards the throat now, to Vishuddha chakra. And the colour of this chakra is blue. So you could start to just envisage any shade of blue. Throat chakra is where we have our voice, so where we have our ability to communicate. And sometimes if it's blocked, then we feel we're unable to say things, or maybe we say too much. It's really just trying to get that balance in that chakra. And we'll try to use the throat and the neck in a few of our postures today. So you can keep your eyes closed for the first bit. You can keep your hands where they are or move them if you feel more comfortable. And start to lower your chin, so just down towards your chest a little bit. So just stretching through the back of the neck. Still keeping the spine long and the belly pulled in. Just start to let the muscles in the back of the neck lengthen a little. On your next inhale, slowly start to lift the chin back up again. And then we're going to take the ear just over towards the right shoulder a little bit. So just drop the ear down. Now you can stay where you are with this, or you might want to take your right hand and just place it just on the side of your head without pulling or grabbing, but simply as a weight, which draws the ear down a little bit. Again, try not to be aggressive. And just lay the hand on the head. Okay, when you're ready, slowly release the hand and then start to bring the head back into the centre. So we'll go the other way, so slowly take it over towards the side. Again, that might be enough for you, just keeping it there. Or maybe take your left hand and just lay it on the side of your head again. So we lay it on the right side, and then that just helps the left ear move down. Relax the shoulders. Slowly release the hand first, and then gently bring the head just back towards the centre again. And from here, we're going to take your hands just onto your legs and we're going to start to move round. So if you take your left shoulder, just push it over towards the right a little bit and then start to move over to the left and then go back. So we're just kind of creating these circular movements. So use your hands to direct you. So you can use your hands to draw yourself back and forwards. Just moving in your own way. Keeping the sit bones down. And then we'll change direction, just moving the opposite way. Again, taking that right shoulder over and round. Start to maybe round back a little bit, so pulling the belly in. And then just slowly start to make your way back towards the centre again. So when you come in, we're going to take the arms, we're going to stretch them up today. So we're going to create kind of this V shape. So we're stretching across the shoulders and the back. So as you inhale, we're going to draw the elbows towards the sides of your body and try and pull the shoulder blades together at the back as you do that. So you kind of create a W shape with your arms. And then as you exhale, just reach up. So really stretch towards the corners of your room. So pull that back and down again. So squeeze your shoulders together. And then as you exhale, just reaching and rising all the way up again. We'll do that one more time. So drawing in, so spread your fingers, pull the shoulder blades in, and then reach up. Now this time just lower the hands down. So you're bringing the hands just so that they'll level with your shoulders. And as you inhale, we're going to drop the chin, and then you're going to round the shoulders here. So we turn the hands so that they face the back of the room. As you exhale, we'll lift and open through the chest, maybe even looking up. That again, so inhale, rounding in, draw your belly in, drop the chin to your chest, rotate the arms. On the exhale, just lifting and opening back up again. Okay, we'll do that one more time. So inhale, just round in. And as you exhale, moving back up. So again, maybe looking up if it feels okay. Release your arms, maybe give your shoulders a little roll. And then we'll start to make our way into an all fours position. So just coming round just in your own time. When you come in, we'll have the knees underneath your hips, the hands underneath your shoulders. So we're going to do a few cat-cows, but again, just paying a little bit more attention to your neck and to your throat here. So as you inhale, we'll drop the belly down, start to pull the chest forward, but then pull the chin forward as well, so you're getting that stretch through the neck. And then as you exhale, draw the belly in, round the back, but then draw the chin towards your chest. So you're looking back towards your legs. So do that again, so inhale, drop the belly, lifting through the chest, stretching through the neck and the throat. And on the exhale, rounding in. So again, we're just doing this to your own ability. So any problems with your neck, or if it feels uncomfortable in any way, then just reduce the movement. But just paying attention to what happens with our throat, with our neck, when we're in these yoga postures. And it's important to keep them free, although sometimes we use the throat as a lock. So that's one of the great locks. So it's our banda that we use in some postures, and we will do that a couple of times today. Okay, when you're ready, on an inhale, we'll just come back in towards the centre. So spreading your hands, we're going to lift up through your right leg. So we're going to come into this lion posture. So what we do is we flex the right foot, we lift the right foot up, we arch the back, but we keep the arms straight. So you really push the foot up to arch the back. And then on the exhale, you draw the knee in, round through your upper back and shoulders. So it's kind of the same thing. So when we push the leg away, we also lift through the throat and the neck. And then drawing that knee in towards your chest. So do that a couple more times. So again, lifting up, flexing your foot, and then drawing it back in. Okay, we'll do that once more. So again, lift up, and then draw the knee in. Okay, lay that knee back down. Now this time we're going to start to move through your hips. So you're going to just gently press your hips over towards the right. and then over towards the left. So you're just kind of, if you can imagine, again, you're this line, you've got this swishy tail, so you're just pushing it side to side, or a cat would do. And then when you take it over towards the right side, you're going to turn your head and look down. So you're going to try and look to see that tail, if you can. Back to the center, and then take it the other way. So you turn the head, try and see your hips. You're really pushing the hip out to the side. So do that a couple more times, again, just warming up through your hips a little bit, and still warming up through the throat and the neck. Okay, once more to either side. And then make your way back towards the center. So this time we'll come in for that other leg. So lifting up through your left leg, belly pulls in, and then we arch the back as we push that up, but we're pulling forward through the upper body and the chin a little bit. And then exhale, draw your knee in, round to your back, drop the chin down. So do that again, so inhale, lifting up, lift through the upper body, and exhale, draw in. Okay, do that a couple more times again, just to where it feels, right? And last one. Well done. Okay, slowly release the knee back down. So from here, we're going to come into our downward facing dog. So spread your hands, tuck your toes under, and then start to lift the hips up and back. So coming into it for the first one, maybe start to pedal your feet out a little bit. Spread through your hands, push up through your arms. And again, pay attention to where your neck is. So what we want to do is try and push the chest back, and we're looking back. So there's a kind of a little bit of a lock as your chin comes towards your chest a little bit. And just breathe there. Okay, we'll take one more deep inhale. Today we're going to walk our hands back towards your feet. So just slowly take the hands back and coming into our forward fold. So again, you could use blocks here if you like. If the arms are just dangling, maybe grab hold of your elbows and gently sway side to side. But keep the belly pulled down, relax the head here. So maybe even give it a little shake. Okay, when you're ready, release the hands. So you could have the hands on your legs or on a block. We're just going to bend into your right leg a little bit, so the left leg stays straight if you can. And then do that again, so bending into the left leg, right leg straightens a little. And then do that a couple more times, so just bending in one leg, straightening in the other. Keeping your weight forwards into the balls of your feet. And we'll do that one more time, just on either leg. Yeah, when you're ready, from here on an inhale, we'll lengthen forward. So coming up to that halfway position, we'll hold it for a moment here. So try and really get a sense of lengthening through your spine. So it doesn't matter where your hands have to be, even if they have to be higher, if they can be lower, that's fine. But try and really stretch out through the crown of your head, through the neck, through the throat. Okay, take one more deep inhale. As you exhale, just fold forwards towards your legs. As you inhale here, bend your knees and start to rise up. So reaching all the way up with the arms. And on the exhale, draw the palms together in front of your heart. Maybe just closing your eyes down for a moment. And just noticing how you feel. Okay, when you're ready, release the hands. So on an inhale, reach up with the arms again, but we're going to bring the palms together and we're going to keep the hands up. Now in this position, you can kind of steeple your fingers. So we keep the pointer fingers and the thumbs cross. Pointer fingers stay up and all the other fingers cross over. I'll show you that. So it's just like that. So the cross at the thumbs, pointer fingers touch and all the other fingers interlink. So reaching up with the arms, squeezing your ears as you do that. And keeping the head in a kind of a neutral position. Okay, when you're ready, on an inhale, we're going to lean over towards the right a little bit. So again, just pressing through your feet, stretching through your fingers, lifting through your belly and just breathing there. You don't have to go that far. Keep your weight in your feet even here, so we're not being light on one foot. On an inhale, come back to the centre, and we'll take that the other way. So just leaning slightly over to the side, so keep the head and the neck in a more neutral position, so we're not leaning too far forward or back. Good, one more deep inhale. Slowly come back towards the centre, and then release the hands all the way down. Maybe give your shoulders a little roll there. Okay, when you're ready, on an inhale, reach back up with the arms. As you exhale, just folding forwards towards your legs. As you inhale here, lengthen, so come up halfway. And on the exhale, we're going to start to walk out again. So you might want to bend your knees and walk your hands all the way out to that downward facing dog position again. So again, when you get there, maybe separate your feet more, maybe pull out your feet again. Whatever feels right to you. But lift through the belly. And just watch the position of your neck and your throat. Okay, as you inhale, we'll lift the heels this time. We're going to walk your feet to your hands this time. So slowly take your feet up towards the top of your mat again. As you inhale here, lengthening forwards once more. And on the exhale, just fold back in. As you inhale, reach up. And on the exhale, palms meet the heart. Okay, inhale, reach back up with the arms. And on the exhale, folding forwards towards your legs. Lengthen halfway. And then this time we'll step back to plank. So to start with again, we'll lower down through your knees. And then take that chest and chin down to the ground like we did last week. As you inhale here, pushing through into that cobra. And on the exhale, make your way back, downward facing dog. So just take your time coming into that downward facing dog position. Okay, we're going to step forward with your right leg this time. So step to the front. You can lower your back, back knee down. Flatten out in the foot. And on the inhale, reach up with the arms. So again, hips drop down, the legs stretch, the arms reach up. And again, the head and neck is fairly neutral here, so we're not looking up or down, but we're keeping it kind of in the center. Okay, we'll take one more deep inhale here. From here, we'll take the hands down towards the ground. We're going to tuck the toes under and lift through your back knee. Now you can either stay here or on the inhale start to reach up with the arms. So again, it's up to you. You can stay there or you could reach up. But relax the shoulders wherever you are. When you're ready, on an inhale, we'll bring the palms towards your heart. And we're just going to step to the top. So we'll bend the back leg and step up towards the top of your mat. Okay, we'll do that again. So inhale, reach with the arms. As you exhale, fold forwards towards your legs. Lengthen forward on the inhale and make your way back to plank on the exhale. So again, we'll lower down through your knees, through your chest and through your chin. As you inhale, pulling forwards to cobra. And on the exhale, make your way back, downward facing dog. Okay, so this time your left foot is going to step forward. So we'll step it through, lowering that back knee and start to reach up with the arms. So again, relax the shoulders, lift the chest. Relax the head and neck. Okay, from here, release the hands down. Again, either stay here or tuck the toes, lift the back knee, and start to come up to that high crescent lunge again. Again, take your time moving up. And if it suits you better to stay down, then that's what you're going to do. Relax through your shoulders. Okay, when you're ready, bring the palms towards the heart and step up towards the top of the mat. Okay, we'll do that again. So inhale, reach up. As you exhale, fold forwards. Lengthening on the inhale. And on the exhale, make your way back to plank. Lower down either chaturanga or chest and chin. And on the inhale, upward facing or cobra. As you exhale, make your way back, downward facing dog. Okay, so your right foot is going to step forwards. Again, we'll lower through the back knee and reach up with the arms. Now you have an option here. You can either take your hands back down or you can tuck your toes on the back leg and lift up to that high lunge. So just take it to where it feels right to you. Good. From there, bring your palms towards the heart and step up towards the top of your mat. Okay, inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forwards. Lengthen forward on the inhale. Make your way back to plank on the exhale. So again, lower your knees or just bend the elbows to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing or cobra. Exhale, make your way back. So this time, left foot steps forward. So again, we'll lower through that back knee. Reach up with the arms. And then when you're ready, tuck the toes. You can always put your hands down. Lift through that back knee and come up to that crescent lunge. Good. Bring the hands to your heart and step up towards the top of your mat. Okay, inhale, reaching up. Exhale, fold forwards. Lengthen on the inhale. Make your way back on the exhale. So lowering down in your own way, moving to cobra or upward facing dog, and making your way back, downward facing dog. Okay, right leg steps through. Again, we'll lower the knee. You can always keep with the knee on the ground. Otherwise, tuck your toes and lift the knee up off the ground. Hands to the heart and step up towards the top of your mat. Good, inhale, reach. Exhale, fold forwards. Lengthen on the inhale. Make your way back on the exhale. Lowering down your own weight. Inhale up and exhale back. So left foot steps through. Lower the knee. Good. Reach with the arms if you'd like. Start to tuck the toes and lift the back knee up. Hands to the heart and step to the top. Inhale, reach up. Fold forwards on the exhale. Lengthen on the inhale and make your way back. Okay, this time as you lower down, we're going to come up to upward facing dog and we're going to hold this for 5 breaths. So you might be in cobra here, it doesn't matter, but try and bend the elbows a little bit, pull the chest forwards. If you need to lower your hips, then do that as well. But breathe, lift through a little bit through your chin. Good, one more deep inhale. Keep the belly pulled in so you shouldn't feel it in your low back. And then slowly release the knees down and press yourself back to child's pose. So just breathing deeply. Just in and out through your nose. Okay, when you're ready, we're going to come back up to downward facing dog. When we come up, we're going to do little standing postures and then we're going to do a little balance as well. So if you've got blocks and you want them at the top of your mat, we're going to do standing splits as our balance today. So you might want them kind of handy, just kind of at the top of your mat, either side. But if you don't need them, it doesn't matter. And if you've got a wall, you could use that as well. So when you're ready, we'll come back up onto your hands. We'll start to make our way to downward facing dog. So just tuck your toes and lift the hips up high. Maybe give your head a little shake again. So when you're ready, we're going to step your right foot up towards the top of your mat. We're coming into warrior one first of all. So we'll spin the heel on the back leg and start to come up into that warrior one position. So the shoulders and the hips are forward. The front leg is bent. The arms can reach up. And today, if you want, you could do that little mudra with the steepled fingers again. So you wrap the thumbs. You have your pointer fingers together and all the other fingers wrap. And then you can reach up with the arms, maybe looking up towards your thumbs. But if it doesn't feel right on your neck, then don't do that. Maybe even bend the elbows and pull the chest forwards if that feels better for you. But work the back foot down and keep the balance between your feet as you rotate your hips round. And breathe there. So although we talk about Vishuddha as being really important for our voice, it's also important for our breath, because if it's blocked in any way, then our breath doesn't move very easily either. Okay, when you're ready, we'll slowly release the hands. And we're going to take them behind our back. So we're going to come in for humble warrior. So we're going to clasp the hands, draw the shoulders back, and then start to move forward. So you might just come a little bit forward and stay there. You might want to release, so you're taking your chest down to that front thigh. Or if you can, take that right shoulder towards the front thigh. And try and let the head and the neck relax as you start to lift the arms over. If that doesn't work for you, then just take it to where it does work for you. So in the humble warrior, the head is released, the muscles of the neck are relaxed, and hopefully we can breathe easier. Okay, we'll take one more deep inhale. We'll start to come up with keeping the hands behind your back if you can. Pull your belly in and start to use the muscles of your core to rise back up again. Okay, release the hands. Now from here, we're going to come into Parasvatanasana. So we're going to start to straighten your front leg. You may need to hop your back foot in a little bit. So if it's too far away, just hop it in an inch or two. So the shoulders and hips are round towards the front again. Lift your chest up first, pull your belly in, and then start to lengthen forward. So you might just come a little bit and you might put your hands either on your hips, just to keep the hips square, that front leg. You could use the blocks here. Maybe you can take your hands down towards the ground, but just work where it feels best to you. Again, if you've got blocks, just have the blocks in front of you and have them at a height which suits you. And remember, we're trying to lengthen the spine, so rather than rounding to get further down, just think about lengthening the spine. Now in this particular posture, the neck changes, okay, because we do kind of try and use that bind. So we draw the chin towards the chest, and as we do that, we start to pull in through the belly, because if we pull in through the belly, we can get a little bit further down. So the chin moves towards your chest to use that band up, and keep working that right hip. So the right hip has a tendency here to fall out to the side. Now your option here is just to simply stay in this posture, this Parasvatanasana. If you wanted to, you could come in and try a twisted triangle. So it's the same legs, but this time the left hand will stay down, and it could be on a block. And the right hand will come to your right hip, first of all. And then from there, start to pull that right shoulder back and round. So we rotate round and even maybe reaching up through the right hand. But again, if it doesn't work for you, does it feel right, then don't do it. Just stay facing forwards in Parasvatanasana. Okay, one more deep inhale. Slowly release the hands back down towards the ground. And from there, start to bend into your front leg. And you can step back, if you like, into a high lunge. So your next option is going to just be to stay in this high lunge position. Otherwise, again, your hands could be on blocks here, or you might just move your hands in front of you a little bit, push through the front leg, and start to lift to the back leg. So we're coming into that standing splits. Again, if you don't want to come into that, stay here, or if you've got blocks, maybe place your hands onto the blocks and come into that standing splits. But try and keep the hips as level as you can, and we're not trying to lift the back leg too high here either. Good, very nice. Okay, from here with the back leg, we'll just slowly step it back again, so back into that lunge. I'm going to step back into plank. Now when we come into plank again, we're going to try and hold it for 5 breaths. So if you want to, you could lower your knees down, but think about the head position. So the head shouldn't be lifted, the head shouldn't be tucked, but it's a nice long length through the back and aligning the head. So you're using the muscles in the neck to hold it up. Well done. Okay, we'll take one more deep inhale. Slowly release your knees and then just lower yourself all the way down to the ground. When you come in, you could bring your hands underneath your shoulders. So your hands underneath your head, cross them over, drop the head down and just relax there for a moment. Okay, so as we come in here, we're going to do Shavasana. The first time we do it, we're going to move through it. So again, your options are just doing your upper body. And you could have your hands just exactly where they are. So you could just lift up from there. Otherwise, bring your hands down by your sides. Maybe just have them on the ground. Maybe stretch your arms away and lift them up. Or you can always clasp them behind the lower back as well. So we're moving through this first with or without the legs. So as you inhale, we're going to lift the upper body. The legs can lift if you like. And then on the exhale, just slowly release down. So do that again. So inhale, reaching back, lifting the upper body, lifting through your legs. As you exhale, slowly release down. Okay, we'll do that twice more. So inhale, reaching back, lifting up. And slowly releasing down. And one last time. So inhale, coming up. And exhale to lower. Again, just take a moment, maybe bringing the hands back underneath your head. Okay, from here we'll start to make our way back up again. So hands under the shoulders. Press yourself back up, so maybe to all fours first. And then tuck your toes and start to lift the hips up. Downward facing dog once more. So again, when you come in, start to make any movements that feel right to you. Think about the position of your head and your neck. You start to envisage that blue colour. Okay, so we'll come in for the other side. So looking forward, we'll step that left foot up towards the top. Coming into warrior one again, so spinning on the heel of the back leg and starting to make our way up into that warrior one position. Maybe reaching the arms again. Again, the hands can be open and the elbows bent. Maybe bringing the hands together. Maybe taking that little mudra again. So cross your thumbs, pointed fingers up. Arms, inner arms kind of in line with your ears. Good, but don't allow that to change or alter the position of your legs. So make sure that the legs keep their position, so front leg forward and the hips and the shoulders round towards the front. Okay, we'll take one more inhale. Slowly release your arms again. So again, this time we'll draw the shoulders back, maybe clasp the hands behind your back. And you can change your grip a little bit, move one finger up if you like. So lift the chest, lift the belly, and then start to move forward. So again, just judge where you want to go with it. If you want to stay a little bit higher, then do that. If you want to lay the chest on the leg, do that. If your shoulder is accessible, take that down. Try and drop the head and then lift up through the arms. Still using that left hip to draw in towards the center. Good, so relaxing through the muscles of the head and the neck. Drawing the belly up and in, so still using our core. So in this position, the throat chakra is relaxed. The head is relaxed. Okay, so we'll use our core to come up. So draw your belly in, start to rise back up again. So take your time, release your arms. So from here, we'll start to work the front leg straight. Maybe hop in through that back leg if you feel that it's too far away. And again, the shoulders and the hips are still round towards the front for Parasuttanasana. So lift the belly, lift the chest, start to move forward. So maybe keep your hands on your hips. Maybe release them to that front leg. Grab your blocks if they helped you and have the hands on the blocks. But again, just if it helps, start to still draw in through that left thigh, so don't let it drop out. And think about the inner thighs kind of squeezing towards one another while the belly lifts up. And again, maybe create that little banda with your throat here. So bring your chin just towards your chest. And see how that feels. If it doesn't feel right, then obviously just release it. So staying here, if you'd like, if you want to come in again, we're going to keep your right hand on the ground, and we're going to lift up through the left hand. I'd maybe just take it to your left hip first, and then start to rotate round and maybe reach up through the left arm. If it doesn't feel right, then don't do it. Good, and use the blocks that you have. Well done. We'll take one more deep inhale. Slowly release the left hand down. Start to bend through your left leg a little bit and step back into that lunge position again. So again, option-wise here, you can just simply stay in this lunge. If you've got your blocks and you want to use them for standing splits, then have them in front of you, hands on the blocks, or just move your hands forwards a little bit. Then pulling your belly in, start to push through that front leg and start to lift through your back leg. So the back leg here, some people like to point their toes, some people like to flex their foot. It's up to you, however it feels right. But try and make sure that both of your hip bones, so the hip bones at the front of your body, point down towards the ground. Good, very nice. You don't have to lift the leg too high, remember. Excellent. Okay, we'll take one more deep inhale. Slowly and carefully reach back with that right foot. Bring it into the lunge again. And then step back to plank once more. And again, see if you can hold it here. So pull the belly in, lengthen through the crown of your head. Lift through the belly so the hips lift up. And drop the knees down if you'd like. Good. So control your head. So the head doesn't just kind of relax here, but you lift it, your chin up just a little bit so you're keeping it in line with your spine. Well done. Okay, one more deep inhale. We'll start to lower down, so you can lower your knees first if you like, or just bend at the elbows and lower all the way to the ground. Just whatever feels right. Okay, you can relax there for a moment, maybe bring your hands back down, maybe drop your head down again. Okay, so we'll come back in for Shavasana. So this time we're going to try and lift it and hold it. And when you get up there, again, you can maybe move through it a little bit, but you're going to try and keep in that lifted position. So hand position either along the ground, reaching back or clasped at the base of your spine. Feet can lift or stay down. So when you're ready, deep breath in, and on your exhale, start to lift through the upper body, maybe lifting through your legs. And maybe on the inhale, you start to try and lift a little bit higher. So use the inner belly to lift us higher. And on the exhale, we try and maintain that lift. Good. So again, inhale, lengthen and lift. And try and get the feeling of stretching forwards and back rather than trying to lift up too much. It does help as well. Okay, we'll take one more deep inhale. And slowly and carefully release yourself all the way back down. So you can bring your hands back round, maybe drop the head down and just relax. Okay, when you're ready, we'll slowly start to move back up just a little bit. So we're going to bring your hands under your shoulders and start to press yourself up just onto your knees and then walk your knees in. Now last week we did Shavasana, which is our Camel Pose. And again, this is a similar pose, but we're not trying to reach back towards our heels. And we're going to do it moving first of all. So we're going to have your knees about hip distance apart still. We still want to try and encourage the tailbone down. And we still want to try and draw your belly in. But this time you're going to have your hands just by your sides. So you can watch it first if you like, but we take a deep inhale. And then when you're ready, you start to reach back a little bit. So you just move back and then you move back up into the center. So when you're ready, inhale, move back. You don't have to go that far. And exhale, back into the center. So try that a couple more times. So just reaching back and then coming back up. Good, and we'll do that twice more. So again, just take it to where it feels right. And last one. Well done. Slowly release yourself down. So just drop the bottom back towards the heels. Maybe close the eyes for a moment. And just absorb the sensations that you feel. Okay, when you're ready, we'll come to a sitting position. So we're going to come in, first of all, just for a little twist we'll do. So just a little twist just to make up for all the back bends that we did. So we'll have our feet in front of us, and we're going to flex your right foot, bend your left leg in. We're just going to take that left foot just over the top of the right. So coming in, taking either your hand, so your right hand or your right arm around that left knee. And with your left fingertips, take them behind you, just lengthening through your spine as you rotate round gently. Keep your right foot flexed and the left big toe presses down towards the ground. Okay, we'll take one more deep inhale here. Slowly come back towards the center. Now from here, we're going to come into kind of a mermaid pose. So if you take your left foot back over and then bend your left leg. So you're going to have it kind of along the ground in front of you. If you can, have your knee and your ankle in line. And then bend your right leg in. So the right knee just comes behind that left foot. Start to sit up. So you want to try and sit up as much as you can on both sit bones. So rather than leaning over towards one, try and stay in the center. Then take your right hand again, so round towards that left knee once more, and take the fingertips behind you. So just a very different feeling stretch, so coming more into your hip area, but try and press down through your sit bones, lengthening through your spine still. Well done. We'll take one more deep inhale and slowly make your way back towards the center again. So we'll bring both legs out in front. We'll come back in for that first twist on the other side. So left foot flex, right leg bends in, and then take it over the top of the left. So again, either with your hand, maybe with your arm, and then right fingertips behind you. So lengthening through your spine, rotating round, flex your left foot, and press down through your right big toe. And we're turning the head and the neck, so you're getting a little twist through the muscles of the neck and through the throat as well. Well done. Slowly make your way back towards the center. So from there, again, we'll take that right foot over the top, bending it in. So again, coming into any position that you can get your leg into, hopefully quite horizontal, and then bend in through that left leg. So start to sit up onto your sit bones again, so without leaning too much over towards the right side, and then take your left hand just onto that right leg, right fingertips behind. So really lengthen as you rotate round. So a little bit more into the hip, a little bit further down the body in the twist, and a little bit more into the low back. And maybe turn the head. Well done. When you're ready, slowly back towards the center again. So we'll release the legs in front. We'll come in for a forward fold here. So we're coming in for Paschimottanasana. So again, if you've got your strap, then use it. If you've got something you could sit on or you'd like to sit on, then do that. Or sit yourself forwards a little bit onto your sit bones. So if you're using your strap, just round the balls of your feet. As you inhale, lengthen, and on the exhale, just move in. Otherwise, you might want to reach the arms up and then make your way in. So to any degrees, if you can grab hold of your legs, your ankles or your feet. And maybe today, if you can take hold of your feet, take your two peace fingers and hook the big toes, and then start to draw the elbows out to the side as you draw yourself forward. Again, just whatever position suits you and feels right to you. And here, instead of tucking the chin, then lengthen through the crown of your head. So keeping the head supported, keeping the belly pulled down. So keeping the Vishuddha chakra free means that we are able to tell the truth. So able to express ourselves, not be scared to say what we feel or think, but without being hurtful to others as well. So we're always mindful about how that comes across. And the quote I had on our invitations this week, I don't know where it came from, but it just felt really right this week because of all the boycotts of the social media platforms by the football clubs, and even some of the clubs I work for. David Lloyd was boycotting all weekend as well. So, you know, the internet's a great thing, but it's also a terrible thing as well. Okay, when you're ready, we'll slowly release. So you can release your strap, release your grip on your feet. Maybe come up and give your legs a little shake. Okay, so when you're ready, we're going to come down. We're going to try that shoulder balance, the supported shoulder balance. If you don't want to do it and you would rather do legs up the wall, then I'll show you that as well. But if you've got a blanket of any description, then just have it. So when you lie down, you want to have basically your shoulders on the blanket, but your head and your neck are off the blanket. So it acts as a safety net for your neck, really. Because a lot of the times when we're doing shoulder balances, our neck, the muscles of our neck and the kind of joints are compromised because we don't kind of keep that little gap, that little curve. So all the blanket does is make sure that you're kind of honouring that curve. So if you've got anything and you want to try it, then use it. So we'll come onto our back. If you are just doing legs up the wall, then either go to a wall, or if not, just lift your hips up, place the block underneath your hips and lift your legs up. And you're just going to stay in that for a few moments. And it's really beneficial for our circulation and so forth. If you're using the blanket, then again, come onto it so your shoulders are on it, but your head comes off it so that your neck is kind of supported with that blanket. And then again, the legs will move up, so as if we're coming to legs up the wall. And then you can start to lift up. So again, if you need to kind of rock a little bit, you can to get up. Otherwise, push yourself up. Use your hands underneath and start to lift yourself with bent legs. So as you come up, the legs stay really bent here. And you might want to straight away come with the legs over, or you might start to straighten the legs just one at a time up towards the ceiling. Again, it doesn't matter if they're not completely straight, but to get them straight, you have to kind of work the legs and the feet. So we squeeze the inner thighs, we point the toes and reach them up towards the sky. And again, if it doesn't work for you and you don't feel like doing it, then please do not do it. You don't have to. But if it feels right, go up into it. Bend the legs to come out of it at any point. And again, from here, you might want to bend the legs and bring them into Halasana, or bend the knees and bring them past your ears. Whatever posture feels right for you. But honouring the neck, honouring the muscles in your neck. Now, to come out of it, there are a few ways, and you can come out of it in your own way, but with control is the best description. So if you can, you release your hands so they're on the mat, And then slowly and carefully lower yourself down, one vertebrae at a time. And then maybe draw your knees towards your chest. And if you're in legs up the wall, then take that. And you can remove that blanket or block, that's quite nice actually, but you can remove it from underneath you. So for the next one, we're going to do a little fish pose. So again, if you don't like this one, you can always do bridge. But if you want to try it, we'll bend the knees, so have the feet flat on the floor first. And then push through your feet and lift your hips just a little bit off the ground. So you're going to place your hands, so palms down onto the ground. And then drop your hips back on to the back of your hands. Now from there, we want to come up a little bit through the upper body. So you keep your knees bent, but we start to really just shuffle the shoulders underneath so you get your elbows on the ground. And that might be enough, just staying there, opening up through your chest, lengthening through the neck. If you can manage a little bit more, you could straighten your legs. And you can also push up a little bit higher so that you come on to kind of the crown of your head. Again, if that doesn't suit you and doesn't feel right, then don't do it. I'll run through it again. So it's feet flat on the floor, we lift the hips, we place the hands with the palms facing down, and then you lower your hips all the way back down, so the hips stay down. Again, keeping the legs bent, start to shuffle the shoulders under. Maybe come up onto your elbows a little bit, so you lift through the head. And then maybe come up so the crown of the head goes to the ground. And the legs can extend, but take it to where it feels right and do bridge if it doesn't. Well done. And then slowly and carefully, so reverse it to come out of it. So maybe bend your legs first, and then maybe lift your hips and release yourself all the way back down. And relax through your shoulders and your head and your neck. Maybe move your head side to side. And we'll come in for a little reclined twist to finish. So any version that you want, but if you want to lift your right leg up, cross it high over the left leg, and drop both legs over towards the left. Maybe stretching your arms out, peel along your right hand. Back to the centre when you're ready. We'll just reverse that. So again, uncross and then recross the legs with the left leg on top. Move both legs over to the right, maybe turn to the left. When you're ready, slowly and carefully bring yourself back to the centre and cross the legs. Again, you could draw your knees in again if you want to, move a little bit side to side, whatever feels right. So any final movements. And then we'll make our way into Shavasana. So again, grab hold of something to keep you warm before you move in. And we're going to do a little meditation on the throat chakra. So as you come in, just start to settle yourself into Shavasana and start to just notice your breath again. Maybe take 3 long, slow breaths. The throat chakra is located at the base of the throat. Start to imagine a tiny sky blue light spinning. With each breath, grow this blue light. Expand it, first to your neck, Then expand again to the mouth, then the ears, then your entire head. Take another breath and continue to expand this light. Expand until it is all around you and you're in a bubble of blue light. Hold the blue light all around you for 3 breaths. Focus this beautiful blue light back on the throat. Coat the throat with this blissful light, both inside and out. Illuminate the voice box, the thyroid, and all around the neck. Send this light to coat your mouth, your teeth, your tongue, and your lips. This light expands to your ears, awakening your ability to listen. This light heals all these areas as it moves over them. Blue filaments of light glide over and all around the throat, strengthening your voice. You speak your truth. You have a voice. You're understood. You're a good listener. Take a deep inhale through your nose and then just sigh it out your mouth. So do that again, so deeply inhaling through your nose and then just let it go. And then we'll start to move through your fingers and your toes, to your arms and legs, maybe stretching your arms overhead. And then we'll bring the hands back over and maybe bring your knees in towards your chest or keep them flat on the floor. And then start to move just gently side to side. If you'd like, you could also roll over onto your side. And then we'll just start to come up to sitting. So just taking your time, maybe keeping your eyes closed as you come up. And just making your way just into a comfortable seat when you're ready. Bring the palms together just in front of the heart. So just leaving a little gap just to signify an openness in your heart. Thank you so much for coming along and practicing with me this morning. Hope you enjoyed our 5th chakra, or Vishuddha, or throat chakra practice. Namaste. Okay, thank you very much, ladies. Well done.